everybody, and welcome back to the Straight A Nursing Podcast. I had originally planned to push this live on December 24th, but I think I'm going to do it a little bit early so that you have time to enjoy it because it is the holiday season, and this is one podcast episode where, wait for it, we are not going to study. This is simply a little story that I wrote way back in nursing school, and it has a little bit of a Christmas flair. So, whatever you do when you are listening to a Christmas story, do that now. Get your cocoa, get your jammies on, put your feet up, sit by the fire, put the cat on your lap, whatever it is, and listen in to 'Twas the Night Before Clinical. 'Twas the night before clinical, and the lights were ablaze. The student was prepping her mind in a daze. The treatments were listed and planned with great care, in hopes her professor would notice her flair. The meds were looked up with side effects known. If one thing was missed, her professor would intone. "This is serious business, you can't make mistakes. Do it over, and do not be late." The student was nervous as she turned out the light for a 3-hour nap before the dawn of daylight. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, she sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. It was Collie and Rui and Shannon and Nye, Georgia, Elaine, and Svetlana. But why? Nadia and Kristania called out from the street. "Our patients were discharged and we're all up Poop Creek." Mo grabbed her drug book while Collie's plan got a start. "We'll sneak into the hospital and search through the chart. We'll find some new patients. Professor will never know." Nye looked at her watch and said, "We must not be slow." They raced to their cars and headed downtown, each student unsure how this caper would go down. They dispersed to their units and walked with such stealth. If Professor caught them here, they would fear for their health. On 4 East, the neuros were snug in their beds, while visions of cranial nerves danced in their heads. On 5 South, the diabetics were fasting as they dreamed of needle-free Accu-Checks and chocolate mint ice cream. On 4 North, the patients were doped to the gills. With body parts in traction, the unit was still. Each student found their chart and approached with great care in hopes the RNs wouldn't notice they were there. Just as they thought the coast was now clear, a familiar footstep echoed in each student's ear. And who should they spy coming down the hall, water bottle in hand, their professor nearing them all? They tried to scatter, but to no avail. She had already spotted them and began to wail. "Girls, it's 2 a.m. You know I don't sleep. I'm like old Saint Nick and can hear every peep. Conference room now." She marched down the stairs. Their hearts sunk to their knees. Some even said prayers. They walked to their fate with hearts full of dread, but then saw something wondrous just up ahead. Professor was beaming with a twinkle in her eye. The students were lost. "You mean we're not going to die?" "Of course not. You care, and that I'll allow. The fact that you're here means you're real nurses now." The student smiled proudly and gave Professor a hug when the sound of the alarm woke Mo with a buzz. What a strange dream! She called her friends to compare. They'd had it too. That must be quite rare. They shuffled into the hospital holding on to their preps and saw their professor looking very perplexed. "Your patients were discharged, every last one. The odds are incredible. This has never been done." Was it a dream? The girls gave Professor a close stare. She was in the same clothes and had rumpled hair. "Go on, you real nurses, and pass this last test." "We will," they replied. "We've learned from the best." So there you go, a little Christmas story for you guys to enjoy while you're on break and not studying and spending time with the people, the pets that you love the most. So take care of yourselves, Take this much needed break, refresh, renew, recharge, read for pleasure, do fun things, eat too much, go out, stay up too late, do all those things that you haven't had a chance to do for the last few months. And we'll be back right on schedule, and we will be studying again. Take care, everyone, and happy holidays. This podcast is brought to you by straightanursingstudent.com. Copyright Mo Media.